Well, hello friends, it's Tommy Collier here, and I've got Brian Proctor just on the other side of me, and we're going to get into a live Q&A today. So we did a Q&A earlier this week as a follow-up to our masterclass that we did last week, and we had a whole bunch of questions that came in that we didn't have time to get to. So we decided to do this. I'm here with Monty visiting Brian and Corey, and so we're going to go through some more of these questions here. If you have time, you can drop questions here on Instagram, and we will try to get to some of those towards the end, but we've got a whole long list of things to start that we're going to start around with. So let me turn this camera around, and there's Mr. Brian. Hey Brian, how's it going?
Good, Tommy. It's good to be here, and it's good to see all of you here live.
Yeah, so fun. Okay, we're going to just dive right into questions.
All right.
So this first question came in from Eric J. from Edmonton, our friend on our masterclass, and he said, "Is there a way to develop our intuition more or better?"
There's definitely a way to develop your intuition. One thing I have learned, I got this from my father, is you need to find a quiet, peaceful place, and you need to get yourself relaxed. I have two places here in the house that I like to go to. One is a particular chair up in our bedroom that my father loved. And he sat in that chair and he ordered one right away for his house. And that just, it struck me. So that's a peaceful place that I like to sit. And another one, which is kind of funny, I guess, is the hot tub. A hot tub puts you in a relaxed state. So if you want to develop your intuition, go to some place that it can be peaceful, quiet, you can get in a relaxed state, and just get in touch with your thoughts and your feelings and listen to it and realize the self-chatter and the stuff that comes in after the fact. That's not your intuition. That's your paradigms attacking whatever your intuition is. If you listen to your heart and you really, really get in touch in a peaceful place and listen to your heart, you will hear that intuition and it'll come in loud and clear.
Awesome. Okay, let's see. This question was from Marianne. She said, "Thank you so much for the 3 days, and I'm excited to get my book. Sometimes I have heard it is important not to be attached to your outcome, a concept I don't really understand. Could you talk about being attached to the outcome?"
You know what, Marianne? You don't want to be attached to the outcome, and the reason for that is force negates. When you're attached to a specific outcome, you're trying to force one particular thing. I think what you want to be attached to is the good that you desire, where you want to be, but don't dictate where that has to come from or how it has to come. As long as we step out and do the work, that good will come to us. And it might actually come to us from a different source than we expect. So just by not being attached to the outcome, you're not forcing one particular way of something to happen. That's it, really, in a nutshell.
Perfect. This next question was from Nini, who I think we just saw join Proctor's Principles.
Oh.
But she said, "Hello, if I'm unable to attend the live coaching sessions each week, is it possible to email my question in?"
Yes. So if you join Proctor's Principles, you can get all the information at brianproctor.com. If you join Proctor's Principles, the live calls on Tuesdays are recorded, so you'll get a recorded version if you're not able to be on it. And if you have questions that you want answered, yes, we have a way for you to submit your questions. We will get to those questions and you'll see them on the recordings. And when we get extra questions, we actually do another little bonus Q&A call that we record and send out to everybody. So if you have a question, you're not able to be on live, we definitely will deal with it.
Yeah, we really make sure that questions don't go unanswered.
Right. Now, here's the best part. If you are able to be on live, we will actually have a discussion. So unlike the masterclass, which is just myself, Tommy, Corey, or Trace speaking, we'll actually be able to interact. And we will be able to have conversations, dig into what your question is, and really hone down to hopefully get you the answer that you're looking for.
And maybe mention, Brian, too, the fact that we do 2 different calls on Tuesdays.
So we do 2 calls on Tuesday. Originally, we started that we were just going to do one, and we have found that this reach here through Instagram and everywhere else seems to be pretty global. And if we fix at one time, it's going to be in the middle of the night somewhere around the world. So we've set up for 2 calls. I'll speak from Pacific time because that's where I'm at. So it's 9 a.m. Pacific or 4 p.m. Pacific. And that will enable anybody from anywhere in the world to be able to join one of the calls. You're also able to join both calls. We have a lot of people in our group that come on both calls and really dig into the material. But if it's the middle of the night for you, there will definitely be one call that will work for you.
Yeah. Okay. This next question, this was an anonymous question. How do you know when it's time to shift or give up on a goal or a relationship, etc.?
Well, that's a good question. That's a unique thing that's really up to you. I think we go back to that very first question. Your intuition will always guide you the right way. If you go to a quiet place and listen to your intuition, it will tell you, is it time to move on? Is it time to not? If it's a goal that you're wondering, should you keep going after, are you still motivated by that goal? And if you are, then just shift the time frame that it's going to happen. If you're not inspired by it, if it's not causing you to do anything different, maybe it's time to look at something else, something that will inspire you. So listen to that inner voice. I'm not going to give you some concise answer on this. We're all individuals, but boy, oh boy, I can tell you this. I have followed my intuition almost to a fault over the last 2.5 years. It has guided me perfectly. So if you get to a quiet place and listen to that, your answer will come. The key then is to follow it.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, this next question was from Victoria. She says, I have been diagnosed with CPTSD due to many traumatic events, accidents, death of close relatives, emotional and physical abuse in both childhood and adulthood. I wonder what advice you would give someone who is so used to bad things happening in life, as I find it challenging to think about positive things. I am not sure I even know how it feels to have positive things happening.
So Victoria, I'm going to give you a couple answers. The first is, if you haven't, I would seek some help. A professional in that area that can really help you through that to get you out of it. You likely already have, but if you haven't, I would certainly look for help. There's professionals out there that are experts at dealing with that and can help you through it a lot quicker than any other way. If I was to give a suggestion from my own perspective, it would start with gratitude. I would start every morning focused and writing out what you're grateful for. What is the good that's in your life? It gets you out of what all the bad stuff is, gets you focused on something better. It might not be easy at first, but if you take the time, even if it's just 5 minutes, and start to write out what are you grateful for? What is good in your life? And start to focus on that. The way through that and the way out of past trauma is truly to be in the present moment and be grateful for where you're at. If you can be in the present moment, you can't go back in your mind to the bad things that happen. You're right here, right now. And find things that bring you joy and dig in and do that. Focus on the good that's around you. Start to look at life, I like to call it through rose-colored glasses. And that happens when you stay in the present moment and you're focused on the good that's around you. It's a mindset. It's not an easy one for everybody to change, and if you've gone through trauma, that it might be a little tougher. But if you can get focused on what you're grateful for and be in the present moment, the bad stuff, you can't have both. It can't exist at the same time.
Yeah. All right. Next question from Tammy. I'm wondering if you need, speaking of gratitude, I'm wondering if you need to speak all the gratitude and mantras out loud, or can they also just be said in your head?
Well, I think a little bit of both, Tammy. When I write in my gratitude journal, it's all in my head. I write it, so physically I'm out there doing something. I internalize it in my mind, and I am always focused internally on what I'm grateful for. So I'm not verbalizing anything. I can come back to an example this morning. Tommy was putting the mic on me, and I just shared with him that I was really grateful he was here. That is another way to verbally express gratitude too. Verbally express gratitude for what you're grateful for with whatever is happening throughout the day. Simple comments, simple things, but feel it when you say it. That'll make a difference. So you can have a blend of both.
Yeah. All right. We got lots of questions about Proctor's Principles and specifically like how it works with the app. Is the app the only place that you're like participating in the program or like watching the materials? And do you have access to that beyond the time frame of the program? Can you speak a little bit about that?
Sure, yeah. So the app comes with a program. There's no extra fee to that. And you have lifetime access to the material. That was important to me. I didn't want this to be a 13-week thing, or we give a bonus of another 13 weeks, 26 weeks, and then you're done. You have access to the material for a lifetime. I think it's just important. The app will work either on your phone or on your computer through the web-based. It works in either way, however you want to use it. It's kind of fun through that, whether it's on your computer or your phone. You can watch the lessons. You can take part in the calls. We have Zoom meetings every Tuesday. There's a community there, which is really, I think, really special. We have some incredible people that are already in the community. And we have questions and answers within that. You can contact people within it. We share our wins. Lots of different comments, lots of resources. They're all within the app, but you have lifetime access to it, and I think it's kind of fun.
Very fun. And part of this question, too, that came in was, you mentioned the fact that there are 13 modules, but we're saying it's 26, there's 26 weeks in the program.
Right.
What is that? What's that about?
So the program itself is a 13-week program, or 13 modules. Every once in a while we'll have a break through a week that we might skip a week, especially over holidays. But the program itself is 13 modules, and we go through it twice. And we have discovered that there's a reason for that. I wouldn't say it'd be overwhelming going through the whole thing all in one shot, but there's a lot of information. We have tried to pack in as much knowledge and information in there to truly affect a change in your life. And what we have discovered is that it's really good to go through it a second time, because when you get to go through it a second time, you're going to see it through different eyes. You'll have already experienced it. You'll have gone through some of the exercises. You will be a different person. You'll be experiencing different results. You will already be on the way to whatever it is that you want. And going through it a second time, you're going to be seeing it from a whole new perspective. And I promise you, what you're going to see and how you'll deal with it will be different, and it'll be even more effective.
Yep, good. Okay, next question was from Mustafa. Hello, Brian, Corey, Tommy. How can I work with you being in India? Are there any possibilities?
Mustafa, this is the best part of this program. It is global, and that's why we've set 2 calls up on Tuesdays so that we can work globally. We've actually got a couple of people in the program currently that are from India. So you can join from whatever country, whatever part of the world that you're in.
Yep. Okay, next question's from Ken. Hey, Brian, can you elaborate on or explain sacrifice when setting goals? Napoleon Hill says, for goal setting, there must be a definite purpose, a time frame for the achievement, and a sacrifice. Now, I know he's not talking about, I don't know what the rest of this says, but talk about
Sure.
sacrifice.
Dad had a great thing around sacrifice. He said sometimes we have to give up something of a lower nature to receive something of a higher nature, to do something of a higher nature. And sacrifice is simply giving up something that is not serving you so that you can do something that will serve you. It can be as simple as not binge watching Netflix every evening, and instead taking that time to study good material, or to work on a new business, whether it be online or personal, wherever that may be. Sacrifice is simply giving up something that's not serving you so that you can do something that will start to serve you. And sometimes sacrifice can come off negatively. I think we need to look at it from a positive perspective and just realize we're giving something up of a lower nature that's not serving us.
Yeah. Good. Okay, next question. Anonymous participant, how do you manifest abundance when your account is already in the negative?
Don't focus on the negative account. Here's the big deal, and this is a big deal. It's going to sound really simple, but this is really important. We cannot let our outside circumstance or our conditions dictate how we think. If you're focused on what's in the negative, you're going to attract more of the negative. What we need to do is we need to change it in here first. If we want to change our circumstance, if we want to change what's happening in our world, we have to change here first. So what you need to do is start getting focused on abundance. Now, is that easy when you're in the negative? Not always. But you need to start to whether it's even writing affirmations about abundance is starting to flow to me, money is starting to flow to me, and feel in your heart, what would that feel like? And embrace that. Even if you take 5 minutes of a day and just close your eyes and visualize what abundance would feel like. Get your body in resonance with it. That will alter the way you see things. The key is, what do you focus on? Don't focus on the lack. Focus on where you want to go. And a great exercise for that is to, let's take a bank statement, print it out, and white out whatever those bad numbers are, and put in the numbers that you want. And look at that every day. And more than just look at it, when you have that in front of you, feel it. Feel, what would that be like to you if that was your bank account? And pretend it is. Just pretend it is. And take on the feelings of that. And you will find that you'll start to do things in a day that you might not have normally done, to be a little more productive, to bring in some more income, to open yourself up to other opportunities that could bring in more income. That's when the magic happens. When we can start to change this first, that will change. It might not happen overnight. That's where willpower comes into place. And if you keep focusing on that over a period of time, it will change in your outside world.
So good. This next question was from Olivia. I love this question because I can relate, Olivia. Sometimes I like things to happen really fast and get frustrated when they don't happen, despite doing positive affirmations and manifesting tapes. What would you recommend here?
Olivia, this is what I recommend. Relax. Patience. Patience. If you're doing the work, it will come. You know, we live in a world of instant gratification. We have social media. We have all the news stuff hitting us. We get all kinds of things hitting us every day, and we think we need to have it overnight. Sometimes we just need a little bit of patience. As long as we're doing the work, it will come to you. If you are getting frustrated that it's not, here's what's happening. You're starting to force it. And when you force it, you push it away. So don't worry about the overnight stuff. Just know that it's coming and act appropriately, and it will come.
Yeah. Okay, this next question, I hope I'm saying your name right. Liabo? Liabo says, I've been out of work for about 15 years because of ill health. My health is a lot better recently, so I'd like to do something with my life, but I don't know what my purpose is.
Well, here's the best thing that I would suggest. I go back to, my father used to put on these Goal Achiever seminars. I used to love the Goal Achiever seminars. And what I would do in your situation is I would take some quiet time every day, have a pad of paper, and start to write out, what would you like? What would you like to do? If you had a magic wand and you could do anything, what would that be? It might even sound crazy. Just write it down. Even if it sounds nuts, write it down. And do that every day. You're going to find that one or two things are going to kind of rise up the list. That's when you'll start to realize, this is what I'd like to do. It might not come right away, but I promise you it will come within a week or two if you do that every single day. Just take a piece of paper. You have a magic wand. This is the important thing. Don't let your paradigms, don't let your way of thinking control what you write on the paper. If you could have anything, if you could do anything, you could be anything, what would that be? And just start writing it down.
Yeah. Good. This next question is from Noel. Brian, how do you accomplish the task of MMFI with everyone that you come into contact with on a daily basis when they are not receptive of the same? Maybe explain what MMFI is in case people don't know.
Sure. Noel, so MMFI is make me feel important, or make the person in front of you feel important. My father liked to call it the impression of increase, and that is this. What can you do to make everybody that comes in contact with you feel better because they were in contact with you? So when you're practicing that and you're paying a compliment to somebody, and it's a sincere compliment, never ever worry that something has to come back from that person. That is just good you're putting out in the world. If you can live from that place and you just see the good and you make everybody feel important, you make them feel special, make them feel seen and heard, your life will change. Don't worry about what's coming back to you. Because when you start to worry about what's coming back to you, you're not giving the impression of increase anymore. You're trading. You're putting out something to get something back. That's not the impression of increase. The impression of increase is what can you do to make somebody feel better because they were in contact with you that day. If that's all you focus on, I promise good is going to start to come to you. And it may come to you from completely different sources.
Yep, good. Next question, anonymous. How can you find your goal or purpose when you've lost your way?
Oh, well, I'll go back to the last person who hadn't worked in 15 years. If you've lost your way and you need to find a purpose, get back to that sheet of paper and the magic wand, and if you could have anything in your life, what would that be? Quit focusing on lack of purpose and you're lost. Start to think, I'm now finding my way, and start to write out, what would I like? How would I like to show up in this world? And start writing that out. That's the start to finding your purpose. And eventually you're going to write something that's going to trigger that magic something in your brain that's going to cause you to step out and start doing something differently.
This was a question from Laura from YouTube. She said, one of your father's pieces of advice that touches me the most is start where you are and with what you have. Yeah. But what do you recommend to control the fear that it feels like it takes to take the first step to begin, especially to overcome the judgment of the environment?
That's a great question, Laura. So, the key with all of that is we do have to start where we are, because that's where we're at. We have to be in the present moment. If we live with regret over what we didn't do, or we're worried about the future of what can we do, then we're not living in the present moment. If you need to start where you're at, just be that best version of you today. Do the best you can do with whatever is in front of you today. You do that, you won't worry about judgment from other people, because you're being that best version of you. If you're the best version of you, and if somebody tries to knock you for that, realize that's their stuff. It's up to you to take that on, and you don't have to. If you truly know you're being that best version of you, you got nothing to worry about.
Yep. Okay, next question here from William. Brian, your dad was clearly a very unique man, but being human, he must have had his own struggles. Can you speak to that and how he handled them?
Sure. Yeah, Dad had struggles. We've all had struggles. I think life, there's a statement I really like. None of us are immune from adversity. We all will experience struggle at one time or another. The key is this. Do we take on that struggle and let it take us down? Or do we stay focused on the good that we want and what we can do? If we stay focused on that, our struggles will not last as long. We'll get through them quicker. They won't drag us down. Dad had struggles many times throughout his life. I've had struggles many times throughout my life. The key, and what I learned from him, was to stay focused on the good that you desire. Stay focused on what you're doing. And what can you do today to get one step closer to that? If you do that, you will get out of the struggle. The key is not necessarily not to acknowledge it, but to not put energy on the struggle. Put energy onto where you're going. And recognize that, like the tide, it comes in and out. And we're going to have times of greatness. We're going to have some times where the tide's going out, it's not so good. But we need to recognize that it will come back. And if we stay focused on the good that we desire, those bad times will not last as long. Quite frankly, they won't hurt us as bad either.
Yeah, really good. Okay, next question. How do you persist in moving forward with becoming debt-free when your circumstances show otherwise? Any tips on manifesting large sums of money?
I'm not going to give you a tip on manifesting a large sum of money other than, be focused on money flowing to you. The first thing I would start, even if you don't have a lot of money right now, is to take a small portion of whatever you do have coming in and set it aside. Put it in some account that will earn some interest, so not a regular bank. Put it in a mutual fund or something that will get you interest that you can't touch. If it's 5 or 10%, that is the start of doing that. Once you get in the habit of that, you will find that 5 or 10% you won't feel any longer. And you will start to build up something. It might seem really slow in the beginning, but you do that over time, it will add up to something substantial. That's how you get yourself out of that, and that's where it all begins. We need to focus on treating ourselves right and paying ourselves right. We have to take care of our responsibilities, but we also have to take care of ourselves. And that starts with that. There's a book, The Richest Man in Babylon. Great book. Go out and read that. It'll really get you tuned into why you need to do that.
Yeah, good. This next question was from Elaine from YouTube. My question is, what is the best multiple source of income to help me that you would recommend?
Elaine, great question. So there are multiple sources of income all over the place around us. Here's my suggestion. Stay open, take a look around, but find something you're passionate about. There's no one source that's better than another. I'll tell you the source that's the best. It's whatever you're most passionate about. So whatever your passions are, then start searching what kind of businesses are there that you can earn an income from that passion. That's the first place to look.
Yeah. Oh, just real quick in the chat here. Can I buy your books at Barnes & Noble?
I believe they are on Barnes & Noble. They are on Barnes & Noble. So you can go to barnesandnoble.com or amazon.com.
Cool. Okay, good. Okay, this next question was anonymous. They said, you, PGI, Peggy McCall, Mary Morrissey, all have very similar material. Could you discuss the differences, or does it matter with whom you register? That is, not all having openings. If we cannot do one, should we wait or look to another?
You know what? We're all different. We've all got a different spin on the material. I think I have a unique perspective. I didn't learn this material at a different stage of life. I was brought up in this material. Being Bob Proctor's son, I have a whole different perspective. So, I'm going to share with you a different way of being from a very unique perspective. I learned directly from my father, Bob Proctor, right from the day I was born. I often laugh and think I was like an experiment, that he was playing with me and teaching me all of this stuff. At the end of the day, you need to work with whoever you feel right with. What does your intuition tell you? And follow that. Your intuition will always lead you the right way.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, next question from Elmira. In the masterclass, you discussed creating a specific list of your ideal romantic partner. Where do I start if I feel my list is too specific or too picky?
Well, Elmira, I don't think you can be too specific or picky, quite frankly. But here's the secret to it. I had a Word document, and I would open up that Word document every day, and I would read it, and I would really get in touch with what was important to me. Now, here's the key. I stayed flexible. I wasn't rigid around it. I would add traits that were important to me, or I would take off things that maybe didn't matter that much, so I would take that away. The key is to be focused on the traits that you're looking for. Don't be focused on a specific person. Don't be picky on a person. Be picky on the traits. Make sure you pick the traits and the qualities of a person that you really want. But also put in there how you would treat that person, how you would be the right partner for that person too. Give that spin as well and create an energy around it. That's how you bring that right person into your life. And what you'll find is that when you do, you'll recognize it right away.
Yeah. And hi, Elmira. She's watching. She said, thank you for answering my question.
Thanks, Elmira.
Love it. Okay. Next question from Nabella. She says, why can't I follow this for long? I get motivated, and a few days later, I can't even read it or write. It's not because I don't have time or not. I hold the journal and pen, but I can't write or read. And I've been doing this for over 3 or 4 years. So what can I do? And is this, what can I do to stop this?
Nabella, here's what I would do. You need to get focused on a goal that's bigger than whatever you're working on right now. If your goal is big enough, you won't stop. That's the key. That's really it. If it's not an inspiring enough goal, it's not going to cause you to do things differently. And that sounds like what you're running into. 2-3 weeks down the road, you kind of just run out of it again and you're done. It's because you're not driven enough by something bigger than you. You want to get down and start to focus. What do I want? Pick something that's worthy, that gets you out of bed in the morning, that causes you to do something different every single day. When you can find what that is for you, that's when the magic's going to happen. And that's when 2 weeks down the road, you won't drop off. You will keep on it because you're inspired by something bigger than you. We don't need to know how we're going to reach it. All we need to know is right today, what one step can I take that's going to get me one step closer to there? And the next step will reveal itself. That's the importance of a worthy goal. A worthy goal we won't know how to reach, but we will know what one thing we can do today. And when you can find that for you, you won't fall off again. And to find that, I go back to the exercise we talked before a couple of times. Take out a piece of paper and you've got that magic wand. What do you want? What if you could have anything? What would that be? What would it be? And start to write that out. And even if it sounds absolutely nuts, don't worry about it. Just write it down. And you're going to find something that will inspire you to be different.
So good. Okay, next question from Flora. I am in network marketing business for over 10 years and I feel stuck. What can I do?
Flora, it goes back to the last question. If you're stuck, that means you're not working on a worthy enough goal for you. You need to find whatever that is that's going to inspire you to do things differently. When we get stuck, all that is that we get into the mundane of day to day to day. That's what happens when we get stuck. And to get unstuck, we need to be excited about something bigger. So what you really should do is go back and think, what is my goal? What do I want? How do I want to live? What would I like in my life? It can be boats, cars, houses. It could be just a way of being. Whatever that is for you. Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. What inspires you? When you can find that magic goal, that something, you'll get unstuck in a hurry.
Yeah, it's really good. And yes, Eric, and those of you wondering, we will post this Q&A after, so if you have to head out, you can watch it back. Let's see. We've got a couple questions here in the chat, and I also have one over here about procrastination. What's your advice about procrastination?
So procrastination is when we're not living in the moment. We just keep putting things off. And we're focused on the future, what needs to be done, and we get worried about it, and it puts us off, or we're thinking about the past. If you want to get through procrastination, sit down and start focusing on what can I do right now. If there's something that needs to be done, deal with it. My wife had a great thing, and it actually, we put it in the new book, the 12 Easy Steps to Change Your Life. And that is write out a list before you go to bed of what you need to do the next day. A list of the top 5 things. And start at number 1 and just hammer down. When you get up in the morning, just hammer down, get number 1 done. Then go to number 2 and get number 2 done. That's how you eliminate procrastination. Be in the moment, do what you can in the moment. And when you get focused on finishing a task before you move on to the next one, you'll eliminate procrastination in a very short period of time.
Yeah. Okay, we've got questions here live and a pre-submitted one about, apart from your own books, Brian, which are now in my top 5, what is your favorite book? What are your favorite books of all time to study and follow? And yeah, similar question here on Instagram.
I got a few. A current one I really like is Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's a great book. Rick Rubin has an incredible book out right now. The title, but just search for Rick Rubin. It's a book that's got like a little bullseye dot on it. Great book, really good book. I should know the title to it, but I don't. Genevieve B. Rand, Your Invisible Power. That's an older book. That's a book I really, really like. And if you're younger, there's a couple. I think back to when I was a kid. Dad always left books around. And there's 2 books. And I'm not sure which one I read first, but they're both really good. One is James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. It's obviously a little dated in the way it speaks because it was a book written 130 years ago, probably. And another really great book for a young person or somebody just getting into this material is a book by Richard Bach. It's called Jonathan Livingston Seagull. It's a wonderful, easy read that gets you to start to look at things a little bit differently.
Awesome. Okay, back to our questions from before. Mm-hmm. This was from Zoom user, so who knows, but I love this question. How could I make my husband take action? When I ask him daily or weekly what he's doing today, he gets kind of irritated.
Well, maybe you should stop asking him. Sometimes when we try to get somebody else to do something, It's force negates. None of us like to be told what to do. You probably think about it in your own situation. Somebody's telling you you need to do this. You instantly put up that resistance wall. Maybe take a step back and just start talking to them in an easier tone of what would you like to do today? Is there anything that I can do to help you? Take the focus off of you need to do this to maybe how can I help you, or what would inspire you to do something a little different. Just take. None of us want to be told what to do. That's the bottom line. I often think I have so many people ask me, how do I get my kids to do this? You can't force your children to do this or to learn this material, because if you do, you're gonna push them away. The best way to help anybody step into their own light is to be the best version of yourself. Be the example. Be something that they can look at. You don't even have to tell them. You just do it and let them see that, and that will inspire them. You've probably met my wife Corey on some of the calls, and Corey inspires me. She never tells me what to do. She's always out doing things, and because of that, she inspires me to do more. That's a really strong way of being.
Yeah, good. Okay, I'm going to take some questions here from Instagram. So this is from C. Mitchie X. Your father's teachings rescued me and my friends. My question is, how do you retain a positive vibration in your toughest moments? Or would you simply suggest I am putting myself in the wrong environment? If that's the case, how do you attract like-minded individuals into your life?
Well, that's kind of a double-edged question. The first thing is start to focus. When times are tough, that's when it takes the most work. That's when it is tougher to deal with and to do. But start to focus on what you're grateful for. Every morning, start writing out, what are you grateful for? That can be a tough exercise when you're not feeling good or you're not happy with your life. But I promise if you do that, that's how your life will start to change. Get focused on the good that's around you rather than the bad. You need to change your focus. That's the real big thing. How do you get into a great community? I mean, Proctor's Principles, that's a great community. We have a support of unbelievably incredible people who cheer each other on. I know that can be hard to find. Find your cheerleader. Find that person, even if it's just one person right now that can cheer you on, that accepts you for who you are and sees the good in you. Find that person, spend more time around that person, and spend less time around the people that are taking you down. Jim Rohn had a great quote. We really are the sum of the 5 people we hang around with the most. So watch who you do hang around with. Sometimes there's negative people in our life that we can't get away from. When you're in situations like that, I like to put up like a protective shield and just realize that's their stuff. We don't need to take it on. But spend more time with people that make you feel good to be around, that you enjoy, that cheer you on. That's the important thing.
Yeah, good. All right, next question here is from Helen. She says, Wallace D. Waddles is talking about the science of getting rich. My question is, do you need to be rich to be happy?
Helen, you do not need to be rich to be happy. We can all be happy in whatever situation we're in if we're focused on the good that's around us. Happiness is not attached to money. Money, quite frankly, just makes us more of who we are. There are happy people with money. There are miserable people with money. Money just makes us more of what we are. We can be happy no matter where we're at, and even if we're in debt, we can be happy. If we're focused on the good that's around us, that's happy.
Yeah, good. Okay, this other question here, this is from Vanessa. When you are going out of your comfort zone and it feels uncomfortable, how do we know this is still our purpose and not the universe trying to divert us?
Sorry, who asked that?
Vanessa.
So Vanessa, when you can keep stepping out of your comfort zone, that's when you start to really grow. And I will tell you what, I'm sitting here doing an Instagram Live right now, Vanessa, and I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. This is not something I normally do. If you've been following me for any period of time, I think this is the first time I've done an Instagram Live. I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. If you have a passion for what you're doing, you have a message, you want to help people, you want to do whatever that is for you, when you're inspired enough with a worthy goal, a big enough reason for doing it, you'll step out of your comfort zone and start to do it. And here's the amazing thing I have found. I've gained so much confidence by stepping out of my comfort zone. Is it easy? No, it's not. But when you can force yourself to keep stepping across that threshold and keep stepping out and betting on yourself and keep working on being the best version of yourself, you will get better every single day. That's when life takes off.
Yeah, so good. Okay, this next question, this is from Susan. She says, I'm realizing that it's November 1st and I'm not anywhere near where I wanted to be by the end of this year. Mm-hmm. How can I get myself on track to make sure that 2024 is the last year of staying stuck?
Susan, start today. Start today. Don't live in regret over what you didn't do because you're not where you want to be, and don't get overwhelmed by where you want to be. Start today. If you want to get there, start with what can you do today? What one little thing can you do today to get you a step closer? Do you know, in my book, 12 Easy Steps to Change Your Life, one of the big things I said is, so many people are chasing that big thing. They're waiting for that big thing to happen in their life. Do you know, if you just did one little thing every day towards it, in a year's time, you've done 365 little things. I promise you that'll add up to something big. Get focused on the here and now. What can you do right now? Don't live in regret over what you didn't do, and don't worry about the future. If you take care of right now, the future will take care of itself.
And our next class to Proctor's Principles, starting this week, would be the perfect lead out to this year, moving into next year. Don't you agree?
Yeah, we are, if you go to brianproctor.com, you can find all about Proctor's Principles. We close it out Sunday night. So Sunday night, that's it. We do not let anybody in after that. It is a closed group. We work together with that group, each lesson at a time, over 13, it'll be a little over 13 weeks. And then you'll get another bonus of going through it again. But that's how you get out of it. You get working with people that want to help you. We're here for you. In Proctor's Principles, we'll actually get to talk to one another. We will get to speak with you. And you are also going to be surrounded by a group of people that are all chasing their dreams and going after it and sharing their wins. And that's inspiring. It's a group that we get to work with one-on-one together over a period of time, and it's a closed group. We don't let anybody in. We go through each lesson at a time with each other. And it's a fun experience, I can tell you that. It's a lot of fun.
That's funny, right? As you were saying that, Nick Hill here in the chat said, is there any way to get one-on-one coaching?
So you know what? Here's the thing. One-on-one coaching can be a little overrated. I think group coaching like this is way more powerful. It's a lot less money, quite frankly, and you are surrounded by good people who can all help you rather than just one person. You are going to get one-on-one. We do some one-on-one stuff within our Tuesday calls. So you will get that, but you'll also have the benefit of other people's input and other people holding you up. So in my opinion, it's even better than one-on-one coaching.
And Call Me Suze here asks, do you have payment plans?
Yes, we do. Yeah. We have a payment plan that you can extend it out over 4 months.
Yeah, cool. Okay, let's see. We got another question here I want to go to. This is Alex. How to manifest faster my goals?
How to manifest what?
How to manifest my goals faster.
By doing what you can do today. That's how you manifest your goals faster. Take some time every day. Write out your goal, get focused on it, and then what can I do today? What one thing can I do that's going to get me a step closer? Don't worry about what you have to do tomorrow. Don't worry about what you didn't do yesterday. What can you do today? That's how you manifest goals faster.
Yep, there we go. I love this question. This came in from YouTube, from Rachel. Most times you need money to make those action steps, and I get law of attraction, but what do you do until the money shows up? How can you take action at that time?
Just step out and bet on yourself. Not everything requires money right away. You can study a good book. That requires such a little amount of money. You can go to a library if you don't even have money to buy a book. I would start studying. You don't need to have money to be better. If you did, none of us would have anything. We all start with nothing. So, what can you do today? What can you study today that's going to give you more experience that you can step out and bet on yourself and do more and be more? That's the key. You just got to study every single day and take action. Action is My father harped on that. He said, action, the action takers in the world, they're the ones that get ahead. They're the ones that live the life they really want. You have to take action.
Oh, and Helen says you're a natural on Instagram Live, Brian. And,
Thanks, Helen.
And your daughter just popped in. Hey, Leanne.
Oh, hey, Leanne.
And Mira wants to know, does this all work with health and sickness as well?
It does. Now, I'll be the first to say, I always I'll be the first guy that would go to a doctor if I was having issues. Seek experts in that situation. But we also have the power of our mind, and we can visualize ourselves in a better state. You said my daughter's on. Her father-in-law has been going through some health challenges. Here's the thing that I just find absolutely impressive about this man. He's always got a great attitude. He's embracing what he has to do, and he's not letting the toughness of his conditions take him down. He's focused on being healthy and living better. That's what he's giving energy to. And you know what? That's what he's going to bring into his life, because that's what he's focused on.
Yeah, really good. Okay, this next question is from Jeremy, and then we'll probably start bringing this in for a landing, folks. Jeremy says, I feel like I'm on an island. Nobody in my family or friend circle is into personal growth, and it feels like I'm being held in the same old patterns. What do you suggest? How do I change this?
Jeremy, I suggest you get into some different groups, whether it's Proctor's Principles, whether it's anything else out there. Get into a group that's different than what you've done. If you want your life to change, you have to do something different than what you've always done. And we have to surround ourselves with good people. If you just sit on YouTube for even half an hour and search for inspirational material and watch that and learn from it, start to look for the good that you desire. Start to surround yourself with the people that will help you. We can only start with where we are at right now. So what one thing can you do today to get yourself surrounded with other people that are making it happen? One of the things that I really like, especially about being in this business, I meet great people. When I meet people that are doing things, I get to know them. I ask them questions. We had on Proctor's Principles, our 13th week, we had a very, very special man come on and share with a group his experience. His name is Bruce Payetta. And Bruce is a magnificent man. If I'm in Toronto, I'll have lunch with Bruce. If he came out here to Seattle, I had lunch with him then. He's somebody that I want to get to know more because he's out there making it happen. Find people that are making it happen and talk to them. Find out what they're doing. How do they think? How do they act? What do they do in a day? That's how you change.
Yeah. Okay, this next question's from Benjamin. How can I tell whether or not I'm applying what I'm learning? Because I study a lot, but I tend to stay in my comfort zone, and I'm afraid that if I'm not stepping out of my comfort zone, I am not really succeeding too much. I know I'm succeeding, but I rarely step out of my comfort zone.
Benjamin, it's time to step out a little bit more. That's the key. Here's something I learned from Price Pritchett. He was the author of a book called U Squared. He said that if we just do what we do every single day, we'll typically experience better over a long period of time. But if you want a quantum leap in your life, you need to alter just one or two habits. Do something a little bit different than what you normally do. That's how you quantum leap. So it sounds to me like for you, it's stepping out of your comfort zone. What can you do to bet on yourself? How can you step out and just be a little bit bigger? It might be a little scary, but I promise you, if you keep doing it, it won't be so scary after a while. And it's by stepping out of that comfort zone, that's when you invite quantum leaps. That's when you invite big change into your life. And that's when the magic happens.
Yeah, good. Okay, we got one more question here on Instagram from Gay Marie. Hi, Gay. Hi, Tommy and Brian. I've done TIR and I want to coach. Can you please suggest how I may approach this without a Readymade program?
Without a Readymade program, I would start to focus on what good can you do for people. How can you share your experiences and help other people? And start with social media like this, Instagram, Facebook. Start putting out good content. If you start to just put out good content without expecting anything back in return, you just put out good content. Be the best you can. Give the best advice you can. You will build a following. As you build a following, you will have a platform to build your business. That's it. It's really that simple. What good can you deliver without asking for anything back? That's the first place to focus.
Yeah, good. Okay. One more question here. This is from Gerben. Mm-hmm. He says, I am wary of the coaching world. I've been taken advantage of before, but I do feel like I still need more help. How do I make sure I'm not investing in something that sounds good but doesn't actually help me move forward toward my goals?
Gerben, that's a great question. And I'm the first to tell you, I've lived my life around the coaching world. And I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the key is to focus on what's good. What's the good for you? And it goes back to the very first question we had on this live today. Intuition. Listen to your intuition. If it feels right to your core, then it's right. If there's something within it that is not resonating with you, doesn't feel right, do not do it. There are a lot of things out there that make it sound better than it is, that will make you grandiose promises and will convince you into it through these grandiose promises. If your intuition is telling you that something's not right, listen to your intuition. I've often said, anybody coming into Proctor's Principles, that's the first thing I say, listen to your intuition. If it feels right, do it. Great. If it doesn't, don't. I'm not attached either way. I know that we're delivering great value. We're delivering great material and we're interested in you. I know that not everybody is like that, but there are a lot of other coaches that are. Listen to your intuition and follow it. It will never guide you wrong. How many times have we said, oh, I should do that, but you didn't because, and you live to regret it. And other times you do jump on something and you maybe spent a lot of money and you were like, you shouldn't have, but you did because it sounded too good to be true. 6 months later, you're kicking yourself. Oh man, I should have never done that. It's because you didn't listen to your intuition. Go to a quiet place, what's right for you, and follow it.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're going to leave it there, friends. So okay. I guess, Brian, just give us one more time, tell us what's happening on Sunday and Tuesday.
Well, it's been great to be here. So Proctor's Principles, if you don't even know what it is, just go to brianproctor.com. You'll get to see what it's all about. It is a private community that we do, a closed group. We don't let people come in after the fact. It closes out Sunday night. That's it. And then it's closed, and we'll open it up again at some point next year. Not really sure when. It's a closed group. We work with you over a 13-week period of time, and then we do it again for another 13 weeks. It closes on Sunday. We have our first call on Tuesday, and then the following week we get started and we get to work. And it is Corey and I, my wife, we love our Tuesdays. We love working with a group. We love experiencing everybody. We get to talk one-on-one. We have Zoom calls where we pull each other up and we actually get to have conversations. We'll get into Q&As and everything else, but we'll go through the lessons 1 week at a time and really work on what's important for you and show you what you need to do so that you can live the life you really want to live. That's the important thing, whatever that is for you. Here's the cool thing. It's about what's important to you. I'm not going to give you some magic thing that's just going to bring in all kinds of money or do this or that. It's an individual thing. What's important to you? This program will do that for you. I know it. Just go to brianproctor.com and take a look. And I hope to see you there. We have fun in it. We have a great group that you're going to enjoy. And I hope that I will get to meet you within that closed group.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for doing this, Brian. This has been so good. I'll just turn this around and say thanks for being here, friends. If you have any questions about Proctor's Principles, you can send a DM here to Brian's account. You can email support@brianproctor.com. Like Brian said, we're closing the door on Sunday night, and we don't do any funny extension business. So if you want to be in, if your intuition is telling you that you want to be in on this for this next round, and you have questions, we're happy to answer them for you. So DM Brian or send an email to support@brianproctor.com and go to brianproctor.com to check out all the details on Proctor's Principles. There's a payment plan, all kinds of information on there for you. So we hope to see you in there. Tuesday's the kickoff call. So hope to see you there. And thanks for being on. If you loved this, let us know and we'll do more Instagram Lives. So see you soon, friends. Thanks. Bye for now.